Welcome to Timeless Stoic Learning. Have you ever wondered what happens when a woman chooses to be the real thing over everyone's approval, independence over conformity, and profound love over just following tradition? Where everyone's relationships are decided by the norms of society, there are women somewhere standing apart, quiet but full of strength, really independent, rewriting the rules of love and partnerships around them. What drives them to do what they do against expectations? And how do they manage to create such meaningful connections on the terms that they want? Let's go into the world of Sigma women and uncover the secrets behind this unique approach to relationships. Who are Sigma women? The powerful women you think of are not usually those who grab attention, but who have that quiet confidence and feel capable. So who are they? A Sigma woman is a unique personality type that is independent, self-aware, and authentic. They do not fit into the mainstream categories of leadership or followership, which makes them so interesting. Sigma women never make noise. They don't conform to anything. They are not alpha, but rather capture other traits. On the other hand, while alpha people usually take charge and dominate any social gathering, the Sigma women don't follow that pattern. There are leaders, but none are meant to be found. Not at all. Their confidence develops from within, as opposed to without validation or accolades. They are somehow quite different, too, from a beta type who at times could be defined as passive or somewhat dependent on a group dynamic. Sigma women take their course, defying all norms and societal expectations. The Sigma women know how to stay happy and healthy by being alone, as well as keeping contact with other people. They tend to be company with themselves and use their single time to reflect, develop, and recharge. This does not mean that they do not enjoy being sociable, however. Instead, when they are with people, it is usually quite serious. They prize deep and real relationships over superficial ones, which govern all their relationships. The self-reflective nature of Sigma women is also another mostly defining quality. They are highly self-aware people and always wanting to know more about themselves. It is due to this self-introspection that they can make wise decisions in their lives and their relationships. They know who they are and what they stand for, as well as what they want and don't want, which makes them very rooted and self-reliant beings. In a society, however, that reveres boisterous traditional models of success and leadership, Sigma women really make a mark. They define the world by, however, redefining those expectations. Whether it is in their jobs, personal or relational lives, an endowment with authenticity, emancipation, and quiet strength. It is no wonder that Sigma women are pegged as today's quietest powerhouses. Shattering tradition. Expectation in relationships. Sigma women do not fall for traditional roles and expectations in relationships. At a time when society dictates how love and partnerships should look, Sigma women stand against such notions and walk a different path. Relationships for them aren't about ticking boxes set by societal standards. Creating awesome, meaningful connections that befit selfhood and values. That for them is relationships. Cities organize long-standing expectations about women in relationships. They might either become the caregiver, sacrifice her, or be someone who would be accommodating toward her partner's needs. In contrast, Sigma women do have this crooked one pin. They believe in equality and mutual respect. It is just a brain, helping one another to create a good ground where both parties can grow, for love is neither teetering nor squelching out someone with predefined roles. One of the ways Sigma women escapes these expectations is by emphasizing authenticity. There is no need for them to present a different version of themselves that society constructs to be more acceptable or more desirable. Instead, they reveal their true selves, warts and all, and expect precisely that same level of honesty from their partners. Such an outpouring will enhance more profound, more meaningful relationships beyond superficial attraction or convenience. Moreover, emotional depth weighs more heavily on the scale of Sigma women than on the appearance of people themselves. They don't bring themselves down for flimsy, shiny relationships that lack substance inside. They keep away from superficialities and invest in all relationships that mean features like being able to understand, trust, and grow with the other person. Their independence also cuts through traditional glass ceilings. Sigma women depend on a partner for none of the following: validation, financial roots, or identity. They also know how to make their own decisions beneficial to them, and standing on their feet, they do not avoid compromise, yet compromise with no value to integrity or worth to fit into old expectations. With the rejection of society and a wealth of authenticity, equality, and inner emotional depth, Sigma women have changed the game regarding what modern relationships really can look like. Reminding that love does not need to be conventional, it still poses as unique and dynamic as the individuals involved. This is independence in love. Independence is one of the attributes that define Sigma women, and independence is transformed into love and relationship. Independence for Sigma women is not a rejection of relationships or avoidance of emotional binding. It is the knowing of worth and holding an identity while establishing a strong partnership. This balance creates an individuality that turns them into something unique when it pertains to different aspects of emerging modern love. In such traditional relationship parameters, there is an uncommunicated expectation that one partner must rely on the other for emotional, financial, or social sustenance. In sheer contrast, Sigma women come into relationships as whole individuals who do not need to be completed by anyone else. Self-sufficient describes it better. They do not need someone else to fulfill their lives, given that they are already whole. Thus, they can now choose a partner out of the genuine bond they share, similarities in values, and an agreed-upon path toward growth, rather than out of necessity or societal conjurations. This independence becomes great because it helps provide them with stability in their relationships. Sigma women are neither sensitive to the idea of being attached to someone nor completely dependent on partners for constant attention and reassurance. The Sigma woman thinks that true love is not losing oneself in another person, but growing together while maintaining the identity of the individual. Partners who can appreciate this will then develop a healthy environment to feel valued and respected by one another. Sigma women care about their personal goals, pursuits, and dreams, which serve as a huge source of inspiration for their partners. This is because they will have to pursue their dreams as well, thereby evolving a relationship that supports and admires each other. Their independence is not to be considered distance. It is being one of the best parts of themselves with the expectation that they also get that from their significant other. This independence may, however, be misunderstood. It can be misconstrued as coldness or disinterest, but the well-informed observers of Sigma women all know that independence is their true strength. It gives them the capability of having their hearts fully engaged while remaining as themselves. The independence bespeaks the love that these Sigma women project towards couples, that the strongest of the unions will never be dependent, but will instead gather as two diverse human beings with their distinct partialities and strengths. Sigma women care about their personal goals, pursuits, and dreams, which serve as the hugest inspiring factors for their partners. This is because they will have to pursue their dreams as well, thereby evolving a relationship that supports and admires each other. Their independence is not about keeping their distance, but about being one of the best and greatest parts of the self, with the expectation to get the same back from their significant others. Independence, though, often gets understood wrong by some people. It is considered coldness or indifference, but loyal followers of Sigma women know most well that independence is their power. With this independence, they could involve love so deeply but still retain themselves. The independence speaks for the love that these Sigma women show to couples, that the strongest of the unions will never be dependent, but would instead gather as two different human beings by themselves with their own particular interests and strengths. They run a high risk of dissipation, at least partially, due to atmospheric waves and ground effects. Airborne and ground-based pressures can be sourced from laboratory example results, plug flow right model, and pure theory with significant perturbations diffusion. To show the connections between dispersion and the separation of drift gradients, such models of dispersion have been constructed. However, they have mostly been validated against nominally zero drift. Instead, it is relevant to understand the justification of all commonly computed results within the framework of small drift situations. Revising partnership aims. Sigma women will hardly follow the usual course when it comes to relationships. Instead, they define partnership aims by their values, independence, and dedication to authenticity. Relationships are not about fitting in traditional molds or metric mile markers established by society, but rather about establishing a connection that nourishes growth, equality, and mutual respect. The way Sigma women redefines the goals of the partnership is by prioritizing the presence of shared values over all such trivialities. In traditional relationships, the base object is narrow, like the external appearance, financial status, or social standing, while Sigma women do believe in the magic entailed by partners who just connect with their basic values. They want someone who can dream their dreams, hope for their future with them, and lend a hand to support their individuality. Hence, in a successful relationship, much less to add to the boxes checked by society's examination, but rather to cash in on a well-rooted and meaningful connection. But also then, do they expect from their partner equalization in patterns as otherwise known quality intimacy and logical compatibility? Some believe that real partnership is a balanced understanding and an open communication channel, as opposed to that messy scramble of power, as well as the imposed ideas of roles that tilt on the domination-submission dynamic. They seek quality time framed in a fair and balanced relationship where each feels seen, heard, and valued. They envision their soul partners as equals to someone who will walk beside them, if not above or behind them. Another thing in their remade goals is the growing mutuality factor. Relationships are for Sigma women opportunities through which both partners may inspire and lead each other to the best version of themselves. They do not fear changes and improvement within a partnership, but rather embrace it in its building effort of life together. For Sigma women, romantic gestures don't qualify as love. They seek actions that consistently embrace caring and understanding. Many little moments in the day, or worthy conversations, joint hobbies or dreams manifest rather than the usual identifiers of romance. In redefining partnership goals, Sigma women teach that relationships do not really have to follow a set societal way of being. They can be constructed specifically to suit the peculiar needs and beliefs of the said people involved in order for their bond to be very much richer and empowering. There are many obstacles in accepting all that is Sigma woman, but loving a Sigma woman is an experience unmatched. It's a different answer, but the rewards that accompany such a term are incredibly satisfying for the one who endures and sees her peculiarities. A Sigma woman is not anywhere close to the partner you would usually bump into. Independent, self-aware, and emotionally deep, these women will require you to be at par with such qualities to match their essence. In the context of what it means to love a Sigma woman, there must be an understanding of space. That is because Sigma women love to be alone, not bored with their partners. They are a different species from those who like staying together all the time. Whatever attentiveness or disinterest is read into it could differ depending on the person. However, it's closer to the truth that they need their solitude to recharge, reflect, and remain true to themselves rather than feeling neglected or abandoned. For some partners, this can feel like emotional distance or detachment, but in reality, it's their way of maintaining balance and bringing their best selves into the relationship. They set impossibly lofty standards, not only for themselves, but also for partner selection. Sigma women's self-worth and dignity will never make her settle for anything less. They expect honesty, authenticity, and respect, and she demands the same from them. For someone who has not warmed himself to reach her level of self-awareness and emotional maturity, that could be a rather frightening thing. It is not easy to love a Sigma woman, but the prizes definitely surpass the drawbacks. She is reliable and highly loyal. When a Sigma woman gets into a relationship, she goes in all the way. She does not play games or indulge in frivolous matters. Her love is very profound, real, and stable. There is also emotional intelligence in a Sigma woman with regard to relationships. She listens a lot to her partner and is highly empathetic, appreciating real conversations and mutual development. Their independence makes them not clingy or dependent, thus forming a relationship that's mutual and equitable. Perhaps the best American prize of all is the muse. The Sigma women's drive, independence, and authenticity compel the partner to challenge himself and become better without compromising the integrity of the bond that is deeply rewarding and uniquely fulfilling.